Prologue. After escaping, Webbs joined a group of 7 Talons of Peace, composed in particular of Nautilus the Sea Wing Chief, Sirius the Icewing, and Crocodile the new Madwing. He explains to the Talons what happened during part 1 of the previous book. Not knowing where the Dragonets of Destiny are, Nautilus decides to move to Plan B, so he orders Sirius to kill Webbs. He will be saved by Crocodile, who encouraged him to return to the Sea Kingdom. Part 1: The Age of the Ocean. Following the events of Book 1, the protagonists head to the Sea Kingdom, where they will find Tsunami parents, the Queen and the King, and where they hope to be safe. Suddenly, Clay realized that the Sea Wing Palace was under the ocean, and that only Tsunami will be able to go there. But Starflight reassures him by saying that Sea Wing also have a palace on the surface, except that it is hidden, like the one in Deep. Suddenly, our protagonist heard Skywing beat, forcing them to hide. Tsunami, hidden underwater, saw that the Skywings were accompanied by a Madwing of the Talon of Peace. Following that, Tsunami believed that one of the Skywing, a little behind, had seen Sunny, and therefore decided to attack him, no without difficulty. She will be helped by Clay, with whom they will succeed in knocking him out. The other will be angry with Tsunami for having attacked an innocent dragon, because there are two he had young. The Dragonets of Destiny decide to spare the Skywing's life and put a trunk on him to prevent him from following them. Later, our heroes decide to spend the night in a cave, and the next morning, Tsunami decides to go in search of her kingdom alone. She saw a Sea Wing communicating with one of her congeniers, Nautilus, by flashing his scales. When the first Sea Wing was isolated, Tsunami tried to communicate with him without success because Tsunami said in aquatic, and I quote, "Hey, Sparking Tea, I like 3 of your claws, but not the other, and I wish your nose was a herring so I could eat it." Following this, Clay arrived to save Tsunami, but she managed to convince everyone that they are on the same side. Later, our protagonist will reveal to Reptile that Tsunami is the missing princess, and will succeed in convincing him to bring them to the palace on the surface on the condition that Clay is blindfolded, and Sunny will be blindfolded because he doesn't bother here. Near the palace, our group will be confronted by the Atlantic Guard led by Shark, the Queen brother. After he has confirmation that Tsunami is indeed the missing princess, Shark orders the death of the other Dragonet of Destiny, but Tsunami orders the guard not to do so, which allows our protagonist to reach the Summer Palace. Part 2: Into the Deep. In the palace, Tsunami decides to make a speech to make a good impression on the Sea Wings present. The speech will go badly. Then Reptile took our protagonist to the top of the palace so they could wait for the queen. At the same time, he talked about how the palace worked. At the top, Tsunami realized there are 2 thrones. She thinks the smaller one is for her. Clay wondered how the Sea Wing built the palace. Reptile replied that an anonymous dragon has enchanted the stone centuries ago. Suddenly, Queen Coral arrives, and we discover that Tsunami has a sister named Anemone. We discover that Coral always wants revenge on Webbs, and then she realizes there are non-Sea Wing Dragonets in the palace. Tsunami will reveal that they are the Dragonets of Destiny. Coral will decide to lock them up for their safety. Following this, Coral wants to make up for lost time with his doctor and give her a necklace. We discover that Reptile is Webb's son, and Tsunami revealed to her mother that she cannot speak aquatic. After that, Coral shows his work. We meet an ugly and stupid old dragon, and we discover that Tsunami had another sister, Orca. Suddenly, Murray arrived, and noticing that a certain urchin saw a Skywing corpse near the palace, Coral moved immediately. Upon arriving, Tsunami realized that the Skywing was Kestrel, who died in the epilogue of the previous book. Coral then took his daughter to her apartment of the Summer Palace to spend the night, during which Tsunami and Anemone get to know each other. And we learned that Orca died challenging Coral for the throne when she was 7 years old. The next morning, Coral took Tsunami and Anemone to the Grand Council, where they discussed various subjects, until the moment when they brought in 2 Sea Wing soldiers, who announced that it was a mess in the Sky Kingdom, because some dragons are always fighting for Scarlet and others fight for Ruby, the daughter of Scarlet. Tsunami explained that it was because of her and the other Dragonets. Coral wanted to get information of Jill. Tsunami confessed that he died in the arena, which will put Coral in mourning because it was her husband, and the father of Tsunami. Following this, the council was adjourned, and the Warfield of Pyria decided it was a good time to take an aquatic class. except he's such a bad teacher that Tsunami runs away to go see Riptide. Riptide explained why he did not say that Webs is his father and will teach aquatics lesson to Tsunami, his class being better than that of the waist. After the lesson, Tsunami asked Riptide what does the gesture shark use earlier mean. He replied that it meant not now, will finish later. Tsunami understood that her friends were in danger and rushed to join them, but she was attacked by another sea wing, which she could not see. She warned her mother, who decided to go to the Deep Palace quickly to protect the eggs. Accompanied by Murray and the Squid Brain, Riptide also decided to follow them. At the nursery of the Deep Palace, Coral saw with horror that one of her last eggs has been destroyed. So she killed Turquoise in front of all the sea wings because she failed in the task of protecting the eggs. She pointed Shark just before dying. Following this, Tsunami decided to protect Coral's last egg and bring it back to Sunny at the Summer Palace, because the egg needs it that Sunny has. Accompanied by Riptide, they arrived at the Summer Palace and realized that Clay was Shin. Tsunami confided his sister to Sunny and went to convince the guards to give the key. After freeing Clay, Riptide needed to leave and our protagonist went to take refuge in a cave at the top of the palace, where Tsunami was able to explain everything she experienced. They then tried to determine who destroyed the eggs and they spent the night. The next morning, our heroes were woken up by Coral and Blister, who were looking for them. Some morning drama later, the Dragonets were able to talk with Blister, and they discovered that Kestrel was dead, because Tsunami had forgotten to tell them about it earlier. After that, Blister wanted to know the progress of the secret weapon of the Sea Wing, which will turn out to be Anemone, which is anonymous, knowing that she is being trained by this disgusting thing. When Tsunami and Anemone were alone, Anemone talked about the genocide of the Sea Wing caused by Albatros and she fears becoming like him. Tsunami proposed to Anemone to make believe that she was weakening day by day. Suddenly, a noise was heard in the vegetation that made up the roof of the palace. It will be Webs, who came to ask Queen Coral for mercy. An interrogation later, it is discovered that the guards have captured Riptide, taking him an accomplice of Webs, and Blister succeeds in convincing Coral that the Talons of Peace are those who destroy all the eggs. Tsunami offered his mother a deal. If she found the real murder, Coral will have to free Riptide, otherwise he dies. Part 3. Out of the Egg. Tsunami had to stay in the royal nursery to protect the egg, until she heard the noise. Suddenly, the orca statue began to attack Tsunami. She will succeed in blocking it with her spear, then she witnessed the hatching of her little sister, except that the statue will succeed in destroying the spear, which forced Tsunami to get out of the nursery, which allowed the statue to freeze, because it cannot attack if the door is open. Later, Tsunami joined the others to watch over the newly hatched Dragonet, and find a name for her. Our protagonist also asked Starflight why he started to support Blister. Coral then arrived to recover Hucklet and confirmed that it was Orca who had enchanted the statue. Our protagonists were about to leave, but Blister arrived to dissuade them by manipulating Coral so that she locks them up, following the fact that Starflight no longer supports her. Our heroes were imprisoned in a cell surrounded by water filled with electric eels. Suddenly, Anemone arrived without her harness, because Coral removed it to make one for Hucklet. She wanted to help Tsunami by enchanting a spear to find out who tried to kill Tsunami earlier. It turned out to be this cowardly green larva, wanted to become king but did not want to marry Tsunami. He will then be pushed by Anemone in the hills, which will kill it and discharge the hills, which will allow Tsunami to go out and free the other. She also telling Anemone to go and join her mother so that no one would suspect her. Leaving the prison, Dragonet realized that the palace was under attack by the Sky Winds. They took advantage of the chaos to free Webs and Riptide. He confessed to Tsunami that he was in the Talon of Peace. Suddenly, Crocodile arrived. She revealed that she was a spy in the Talon of Peace and that it was she who brought the Sky Wing to the palace. She will be killed by Glory, who used her magic dead speed on her. Riptide decided to stay to defend his kingdom, leaving our protagonist to flee through a passage in the air. Except that Webs gets stung by Blister, forcing our protagonist to head to the Rain Kingdom to be able to save him. Epilogue. Seeing that nothing went as planned, Morosia brought Nautilus, which revealed that the Talons of Peace had planned replacement for the Dragonet of Destiny, but they are not perfect, forcing Morosia and Blister to take the least worst from each group.